Hello and a warm welcome back to the WenDirkCast with me, Jimbo. As always, we will be discussing the latest MFL updates, transfers, developments, and so much more that has gone on over the last week or so. One important note before we start this episode, as we always like to say, none of what we chat about is financial advice. Do your own scouting or hire a director of metaverse football. In with me today, I'm not quite sure why I brought these two on. I might regret it within the first 5 minutes, being abused by these two, but I have two great MFL users and managers in the studio with me today who have both been on separate pieces of content before, being the Ramble and the Yorkshire TNXP. First, we have one of the many Irish managers in MFL, and some say he is the master behind the other guests' tactics and success within MFL. If it wasn't for him, this other manager wouldn't be where he is. Welcome in, Rory. How are you doing, sir?
Great. I love that introduction. It's a great way to start us off here. But yeah, glad to be on. Was looking forward to this for a while now. Been listening to the WenDirkCast for a while, so happy to get into it. And yeah, I think we'll be great.
Awesome. Welcome in, Rory. And then the other person making up this duo today. Some say he's my nemesis. Some say he's my biggest hater. I don't know what to say. And some say this might be his last appearance on the WenDirk content if he gives me so much grief today. You can probably guess who it is by now. It's SUFCBlades. Welcome in, sir. How you doing?
Not bad. I'm happy to be here. Upset me at Switch Town shirt didn't turn up, but Jimbo brought back, but it is what it is.
Yeah, so I
listen for you Liverpool fans.
do you know what? I find this so weird that you're a Sheffield United supporter, but you're wearing another team's, and it's not even like a big five or like a big team. It's just Everton. Like, why?
Just like the shirt. Like, if I like, say if a football club's got a shirt, I like it, I'll just buy it. Like, yeah. It's just, I've got a nice collection here.
I did the same.
Everton, Arsenal.
No Liverpool shirt though. No, Ipswich on the way.
Ipswich on the way. Yeah.
So it really should be you being the one doing the shirt changes,
pretty
really,
much,
shouldn't it? Throughout this, I should be like, right, what do I have to do to get a shirt change for Blades?
Yeah, there's one, an England one.
Oh, no, that England one's quite nice, to be fair. Yeah,
shirts all over.
Yeah, it's a good range. And basically, folks, Rory and Blades has said that they ordered each an Ipswich shirt. And that's bad enough in itself, but they ordered it with one of them has my name on the back with 0 for the amount of, you said the amount of bronze trophies I've won, right, Blades?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, when you buckle up this season, it'll slip around.
Oh, unbelievable! And then Rory, you've put WenDirk on the back with the number for this episode, right?
Yeah, 119, the best episode ever. So probably might as well get it on there.
I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. I think it's bad enough you guys buying Ipswich shirts, but it actually is nightmare fuel to know that my name was on the back of an Ipswich shirt, that'll be great bonfire fuel, mate, for next year, or something like that. If I ever see that shirt, then I don't know what I'll do.
That's coming.
And then we're gonna give the WenDirk shirt for the quiz prizes. First place in quiz earns a Ipswich shirt. The next one,
last place in the quiz. That's what it deserves to be. Last place in the quiz. Well, it's very generous if you decide to do that.
Where's Benny when you need him?
Exactly. Maybe he can't get an Ipswich license, but he can get himself an Ipswich shirt.
That's it.
But yeah, we've got Blades and Rory on. We're going to do a bit about sort of testing the new engine and how to go about just testing in general your tactics and so, because the experimental engine came out this week earlier than usual. Obviously, it's a sort of a bumper experimental engine because it's had sort of 6-7 weeks worth of tinkering upgrades into it. It's a little bit about like the do's and the don'ts. And then a bit about bench talk. Just it allows us to talk about anything from the Holiday Hero qualifiers to marketplace and any other topics which Blades and Rory want to discuss, as well as the the plethora of community questions that have come in across the weekend, which I'm going to go for one of them. It's for me straight away from RootCoors saying, what were you thinking getting these two crazy lads on in the same episode? And I don't know. I'm getting this question out of the way first because, well, maybe we should have done it at the end because I'll have a better answer, but I'm not quite sure why I brought them on together. I think they are a little bit of a dynamic duo and how they help each other in MFL, but also I think the banter between those two is pretty good. They wanted to come. I think it was basically, it's both of us or neither of us was a deal that I was proposed. And I went, right, okay, I want to get you both on. It can't be individual. It's going to have to be together. So we've got the pair of them on today.
I assumed it was, for some advice on how to win a bronze league because, we've both done it now. So I thought that's why you got us both on. Two experts.
Unbelievable. No, do you know, on that note, I'm going to be the first one to talk about my week in MFL then, because I feel like I need to sort of give myself a little bit of defense in here. I've probably got the best start I've ever had in MFL in terms of a season across like all clubs. So the Wyverns are top of bronze. So, that trophy is slightly closer. It's been the closest it's ever been.
On top of bronze. I'm not in that league this year.
Yeah. Only because you're not top. Yeah. Well, you're not in the league. All right. Rubbish. Even when you got the team promoted from bronze, you decided to ditch the club anyway and bail ship and give it to Rory anyway. So,
well, that's because I wanted to prove that I'm better than Rory. That's why I'm Irish league. And then two, it keeps it in. So if Rory gets relegated and you don't go up again, I'm back to playing you out next year.
Yeah, you just want to stay in the ladder, don't you? You want to stay in that part of the pyramid.
If you do finally get yourself up, all three of you have all three can have a nice big fake, can't they?
Well, I am hopeful for it. So the Wyverns are top by 1 point. They are second in their group for the contenders, but we won our first 4 games. So I just rotated the hell out of my 5th game just to for fatigue and reasons. So I think Dane with one of his teams, P.T. Lurgoyfs, I think it's a Magic the Gathering, he has all Magic the Gathering things. He used to play it and travel around the world in tournaments and stuff with it. That's how he themes his teams, but we're both joint first on 12 points. The second team in their second season in Stone, they've got a bit of a throwaway team. They're 4th, and they've also qualified for the knockout stage. Nice. The WenDirk MFC, they're finally top now, top on goal difference. I did say that if we weren't top by mid-season, I'd give it to someone. Turns out I think we're going to start. We've got one more league game. As long as I win it, we are fine and we're staying top, which I should. And they are also qualified for the round of 16 in the Cup 2 on the basis we don't lose the final game by like a 10-goal swing. But I'm pretty sure that's relatively comfortable. And on top of all that, all 3 teams by Wednesday, so within 72 hours of the Holiday Hero qualifier, said all 3 had hit the Masters already. So the Wyverns were on the Tuesday. WenDirk was on the very first qualifier on the Monday afternoon or evening. And then the third team got in through the tier 4 on the on like Thursday or so. So it's basically been a really good sort of full week at MFL for me. I can't jinx it with any like league games tonight because there are no league games. So I say I would say it's a solid 9 out of 10 for me this week. It's probably been one of my best weeks in MFL.
Yeah, good stuff, Jimbo. We like to poke fun at you and all that for the manager, but you're really smashing it this season. To be fair, like all your teams are getting through into the Masters. They're all doing well in the league, so can't knock you for that.
I appreciate that. Might be the kindest thing anyone's ever come on here and spoken to me about my performances before, and I'm sure later on in the episode, probably Blades all throughout will give me some more grief for it. But right, Rory, we'll come to you then. It's been the first full week of MFL now. We've got 1 match day in the league left. We've got 1 match day in the cup left. How has this week been for you and your agency? And then at the end of it, give us a rating out of 10 for how the week's been.
Yeah, so I'm kind of split into a half. All my bottom teams aren't really doing that great, or not as well as I thought they'd be. From like Ice, Spark, and Flint, they're down. Some of them are in the relegation battle, stuff like that. But my top teams are where it's really going well. My bronze squad, Guinness MFC, in with the SUFCBlades' Mustangs Academy. Beat them there the other day, 1-0. Won last night. And I'm top of that league by 1 point. So mind the gap there, Blades.
Only just.
Is Blades striker on loan with me, William Smith.
I'm back.
How you've
goals,
loaned a player to Rory in the same league as you?
It needed help, didn't it?
Is it really a rivalry, chaps? If you're loaning players to each other, is this a fake rivalry? No.
It needed help, so I had to help him out a bit.
There was a reason behind it. It's because I'm also managing the Barcelona Mustangs this season. Blades is Barcelona Mustangs in silver, and I had a striker in there that he needed back, and I was like, well, you want that striker? I can move my bronze striker up to silver if you have a replacement for me. And he got me a replacement in Smith.
You've given back to him.
Reyes. I moved one of my top guys, Zubac, into one of my teams, and then he gave me Smith to replace him. So that's how our kind of relationship works, to be fair. We kind of help each other out through those things. But the Mustangs are in 8th, but they're predicted 12th or 11th. So happy enough with that so far. You know, the goal is just to stay up. The cup's been going awfully. I won't even speak on the cup, but the goal is stay up in the league. And then Phoenix Park Rangers are 2nd in silver somehow. I have no idea how this has been done. It's a crazy league. Like, I think I'm 9th predicted with a squad around 940, and most of the other teams are 960, 970, and I've just been beating them. But this season I've spent a lot of time kind of scouting opponents for the first time, and it's really paying off, it seems. And true in the cup now, confirmed qualification today, so delighted with that. So on a scale, you know, I'd say I give it an 8. The top teams really flying, the bottom teams doing okay, getting there, but you know, it's all about the top teams really for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, if my second team doesn't do so well, but the Wyverns are like top 2 or they get through in the cup, I'm like, well, actually, the MFL gain that they get makes up for the poor performances in other parts of the pyramid. So, obviously, you got a few Irish. How many Irish clubs do you have, Rory?
I have now 10. I had 13 at one point. But when I got promoted to silver, I needed to, you know, get rid of a couple, get some funds in and make those upgrades, because it's such a big jump, you know, in terms of quality and standard. And I didn't want to have to loan a whole squad of players in. Because, like, unlike you guys, I don't really have my Legos in bronze in previous seasons, so I had to buy stuff. But
this man. That's the new norm in bronze now, mate. You've got to have Legos. You know, it's if you have Legos in iron, that's the real kicker, I think.
I have one Lego in my Guinness bronze team on loan, and he's a crazy progression player. He's going to probably be a 90 rated at the end of this season by the looks of him. Like, but
bloody hell.
So yeah, I sold a couple of them, and I have 10 now. I have 10 Irish teams, and then I have one Spanish team, which is the Barcelona Mustangs.
Yeah.
The fun thing about the Irish teams is I have 2 Dublin licenses, and the rest are all individual locations as well. So I try not to repeat them.
Yeah.
Try to keep them separate. I had 3 Dublin, and I gave one to Blades, which is now Rory's Leprechauns. And then a couple of them went to Chris as well. yeah, that one.
So 8 out of 10 overall, though. So a decent week for you.
8 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, like, 2nd in silver. I thought I'd be in the relegation battle there, and you know, 22 points. Yeah, dare I say, very early here that it could be almost safety already. There's one team in there that's kind of a throwaway farm team, so that'll be another 3, and I'd hope that'd be almost enough to keep me up from here. But obviously, that's not the goal anymore. The goal is to push up the table and get as much rewards as I possibly can.
Oh yeah, no, you're that far up. You don't want to sort of just go right safety, sort of NIF security. You want to see if you can push into playoffs to hold that position. No, very nice week, Rory. Right, Blades, going from one man who monopolises a location with Irish clubs. I know you've got a fair few, the fair few Sheffield clubs. How's your week in MFL been, fella?
Up and down, to be fair. Masters, I'm having a nightmare in it, I'll be honest. Got to the final at flat one. I lost to the best manager at game, Meta Mercenaries, running.
Oh, you played Meta Mercenaries in the final?
Yeah, got smashed 3-0.
In fact, I don't think as many. I think every club and every manager at some point, if they've played Ronan, because they got smashed by Ronan.
To be fair, I'm quite surprised it was 3-0. I thought it'd be a lot more than that, but yeah.
That shows how good Rory's tactics are, though. Yeah.
It's not Rory's tactics.
He's changed. He's moved the slider 1 inch to the left and gone, no, that's my tactics now, not Rory's.
With that flat team, it's not playing 4-2-4, it's playing 4-4-2. So it's the new. I could say the new 4-2-4 is now being replaced by 4-4-2. It's new tactics. Somehow the third in league for the worst team on predictions. I've got them up to third. Don't ask me how. Got 23 points last year, and they're already on 20 already. So this season round, so yeah. I don't know what to say about that. Like I said, just don't look, I think, because I ain't done much testing, because I was still trying to get people to loan, because I found it a lot harder this season to loan players. And in my eyes, it's got to be because that Masters, because everyone wants to keep the best players for themselves, you know what I mean? But yeah, I found it really hard to loan players this season. So yeah, testing went through window, if I'm honest.
So you were trying to get Rory to do a bit more testing for you, trying
Pretty
to
much,
book in a bit more time.
Like
Rory, you can't go out. You can't go out. You can't go out on the piss this Friday, Rory. You've got to stay in and do some tactics testing, because my 4-4-2 isn't performing as well as it should be, sort of.
Yeah. Risky passing on every single player, which seems to be doing good for me.
So, yeah.
So, anything else about your clubs, or how's the week been with a scale of 1 to 10?
On a scale of 1 to 10 in MFL terms, probably like a 6, 7, rough scale. Like my main teams, it's a bit like Rory said. My worst of teams not being so good, but I don't really care about some of them. Some are just to train players up. And main 3 or 4 or 5 teams are all doing pretty good. So yeah, like Tractor Boys, they're with Flying High, third in league. Hopefully this year I get up. They're done good at Cup. They're through to next round at Cup.
Oh, I'm so happy for you getting them through. I'm so happy for any success you have with that team. Speaking of the Tractor Boys, Chris Lay on Niris says, in a hypothetical final, Blade, a cup final, which would you rather, the Tractor Boys beat the Wyverns or Rory's Leprechauns beat Phoenix Park Rangers?
See, I saw that question, and it's a tough one, but because I love to smash both of you, because I'm pretty confident I'll smash both of you anyway in finals. But if I had to pick one, it'd have to be Jimbo. Smashing Jimbo, the Tractor Boys would be.
Yeah. That's the right answer as well. I know how to be
beautiful.
Oh yeah, of course it's the right answer, Rory. Of course it's the right answer.
I know how to beat my own tactics, so if he came into a final with me, we know what would happen there.
Yeah, true. You just look at yourself in the mirror really when it comes to tactics when you play Blades, isn't it? Whereas if that was the cup final, I'd have to be coming to you, Rory, for a bit of advice on how to beat Blades. But so yeah, what you say the number was again, Blades, for this week? You give a number on it. What was your
about 6.5? About
6.5. Okay, 6.5. Right. Let's move to the dev updates. We got a little bit of a sneak peek into a little bit of a website redesign, which is great. Yaks, please continue this inclusion of whether it's a video, a photo, a screenshot, whatever, to give us sneak peeks, because we love to view them. And I think there's a couple little tabs on there which I think, if you haven't noticed, are quite interesting. So let's quickly scan over the dev update, then I'll ask these two for any opinions they have on any of the stuff which got involved in it. So the engine. This week, the experimental engine was released, featuring major upgrades, a redesigned save system, smarter ball calling behavior, more realistic reaction time tuning, and a new player entrance sequence before kickoff, which I could discuss that in a little while. Based on early feedback, we've begun focusing on 2 shot-related areas. 1v1 conversions, currently too low, especially when the shooter's shooting is lower than the goalkeeper's stats, and overall shot decision-making. Then the final point on the engine, defensive stability has been improved by preventing defenders from over-chasing offside players. This improvement will be included in a future experimental update. That's good. Club offers, very interesting. Obviously, we can offer for players, can't offer for clubs. Dobby, the one that is Dobby, has completed most of the work, allowing you soon to send purchase off for clubs. Wouldn't be surprised if soon is just like next week, or it could be 3 weeks, but maybe just after mid-season. Back office improvements. We're enhancing how competition rewards are represented in the back office to prevent potential human errors on our side and improve code quality. And the ongoing work, we are still actively working on migrating to a new service for listening to blockchain events, along with QA to ensure all events are correctly handled. And then the last one is rebuilding interfaces with the new design. We're currently working on the HQ and public profile. You'll find the mock-up we're currently implementing attached to this message, and we have a lovely photo of what is one of their mock-up designs. Before I make any comments on any of this, chaps, do either of you have anything you want to have an opinion on that dev updates?
It's pretty good dev update. Like, there's a good bit of content, looks like there. The club offers will be really handy, I think. Just to, especially like trying to get Irish clubs and stuff, like you have to be messaging people on Discord. Yeah, Ipswich Town clubs, stuff like that. You know, you could get the offers instead of trying to find these, you know, people with no Discord, stuff like that. I think it's great. The new HQ agency looks great as well. I love the new design of it. It's nice having everything in one place instead of like, you know, you have your players and your clubs and this, and you're not clicking through. It looks like it's all on the one screen. Happy days. And then the new engine update. That's obviously a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the image of that HQ, I think it's worth looking at in the very top. You mentioned you've got the overview of the players and the clubs.
Yeah.
You've also got a history tab as well, which I think is very interesting. Whereas that's been a request for a long time, is history, whether that's history of a club's performance across the pyramid, across seasons. And I know that Andy, when he came on with me a couple of weeks ago, one of his requests was like a trophy cabinet. Doesn't look like we're going to see one here, but if you look on the right, you've got the trophies and you can see how many trophies they've got in each division. So rather than have to scroll through and find, you know, Blades wants to find his bronze trophy he's got. He might have to like tap a few, you know, arrows to try and find it, whereas he can go, right, Division 5. Yeah, Division 5, and just click on it, and there you've got it. So maybe look at some of those bits of about the history, about the trophies. They're a bit easier to find, navigate to. Maybe I was looking at the history and go, actually, will we see historical league standings, that sort of thing? Blades, anything you want to touch on?
Not really. Like I say, they're making steps in right way, but there's still a few things I like to see them do. Obviously, somehow try and get some subs into it. I think that'd be nice, getting subs into it. And then the one pet peeve I've got with it is when we're on live match days, we can't see without having to have 5 little tabs up of different clubs. Like, even nice to have a league table, like a live in-game table. That'd be nice. Just submitting bottom at corner, which tells you like what second players are doing, what third players are doing, where you are, if you still stay winning, like us.
Yeah.
Live table sort of thing. That'd be sick.
Yeah, I know that's something I put in the idea suggestion, which I know people like Dane and others have done for years, technically, or for a long while, is that there's a lot of, when you're on a match page and you've got like the clubs on each side, and there's a bit of blank space there. And right now we see the club name and the form of the last 5 matches. I'd love to be able to put there like the amount of points they're on and their standing in the league. So it means when we're doing, I'm just thinking from a watch along perspective right now, it's the final match day and people linking their games. Now I'm going, what's the context for this match? Whereas I can look on the match page and go, right, that's first v second, and there's 2 points in it. So immediately there, I understand what's the context, how, you know, what's the importance of that match, rather than have to go into another tab, load it up, find the league table. And it's sort of, you know, it's a couple more clicks. Could we maybe, as a very minimum before live tables and live scores, get whereabouts of teams in the league and their point standing just from looking at the match page?
Yeah. No, it'd be great for like the Wyverns relegation battles and seeing how those teams at the bottom are doing and stuff. But I think it's a good idea, Blades. I'd love to see that in there one day.
Especially when he gets to silver next year.
I definitely think I'm getting relegated. If I get promoted first, you know, touch wood, we do. But I quite enjoy the, and maybe people might think I'm crazy, but there's something about like the excitement and the adrenaline of avoiding relegation and being in that scrap but making it out. When I got promoted to bronze from season 1, I made it through the playoffs from the 3rd place route. For like 5 seasons, I was always projected like 11th, 10th, 12th, and every single season I'd hit mid-table. And there's something about, you know, just sort of overachieving in that sense. Albeit this season I've gone, F it, I need to be in amongst it and get out, which hopefully with the current setup I've got will be. It depends if I make a deep run in the cup, might that have an impact on it? But yeah, no relegation scraps. Definitely not in bronze, but maybe in silver.
No.
One thing I did want to touch on was the player entrance sequence, which I was a big fan of. I can't remember who came into the stream on Wednesday or Thursday and said, "Have you tried an experimental game?" I
It
was
was
like,
Rory,
"No."
wasn't it?
It was
Was
me.
it you, Rory, that came in and said, "Yeah, have you done an
Yeah.
experimental game?" And I was like, "No." It's like, "Oh, you might want to." I was like, "Why?" I was like, "Oh my god, is there going to be a player entrance sequence?" And I obviously viewed it, and I've been crying out for this for age. Got a 60-second countdown. I know if you're on it, it goes down to like half a minute, sorry, pretty quick. And I was like, please just have like the players walking out. They walk into their formation, and then the first highlight is them kicking off. It just adds an extra flavor, as Carver would say, into that match experience. I said on Twitter, can we now add them shaking hands? Right? Lucas messaged me and said that apparently was originally part of it, but they couldn't get it to look right, basically, and actually showed me an early iteration of them shaking hands, which is interesting. So there's something they actually looked at, but they just couldn't get it right. And I trust the team a lot, and if they didn't think it looked right, it probably didn't look right. They're not going to go with it, but it's there. And I think if we can campaign for it enough, I reckon we could try and get them. They line up, and then they sort of walk in front of each other. They shake hands with the players, the linos, the officials, whatever, and they go off into position. But I'm a big fan of that happening. It's nothing to do with the engine and how your team performs, etc. But it just makes it more realistic, and it just looks better when the loading screen's happening and the players are walking out, and maybe we see variation. They come from the corner, like Old Trafford or at Fulham, for example, or those sort of things.
Yeah, it'd be very cool. I'd love to see like the Guard of Honor and stuff like that as well, if it comes to that situation, and maybe
now we're in the championship. Yeah.
But like even all those small little bits really just add to the the realism of the game, and which we're all here for. We want it to feel like a real football match when we're watching and stuff, and that's all part of it. They're only little things, but they make a big difference.
Yeah,
I want to get VAR in it.
Get VAR. I maybe hot take. Maybe I hope we don't get VAR. I think that would probably. We've got delayed offsides. We've got them now, which is probably as closest to VAR that we should ever get. I'm not having a goal being scored and then the ref goes to the side of the pitch, and it's like, oh, handball from the attacker in the build up, goal disallowed. I'm like, oh, would you get a grip? On a 2D engine, we can't have anything to do with VAR. The delayed offsides is okay, but VAR, no. I don't know, Blades, would you be a fan of VAR, or are you just saying that to
just saying it to wind you up, mate?
Yeah, fair.
In real life, I can't stand it now.
Well, the Championship's such a good division, right? There's none of this nonsense.
Well,
although the fourth officials are crap.
Let's not mention the playoff final VAR, no. Yeah, we have it in the playoff final if we get there with Norwich. Which you don't actually do, but yeah. And Sunderland, Rob, the best Sunderland fan I know.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that VAR, I weren't happy about it in the final, I'll tell you now. We play 46 games a season, and then in playoffs, some idiot thought, it's that VAR. No,
skill issue, mate. Skill issue, I think, fella. Rory, would you be a fan of VAR and MFL, or do you think with our delayed offsides, that's probably as far as we should go?
Yeah, I mean, like if it's done properly, I suppose it'd be good. But in real life, it's not done properly. There's too much weight in the hand and all that. They have like a super quick VAR. Your man's after handballing it there in the box, penalty. Happy days. And if they show you a little replay of that, maybe it'd be cool. But no, it needs to be implemented properly or not at all. Same as real life, properly or not at all.
Yeah, you could almost argue that the delayed offsides we've got is just like the semi-automated offsides they have in like the Champions League and the Premier League and so on and so forth. But those are dev updates. I had an update on the amount of trial clubs. So last week it was 2,787. I still need to confirm if that's a number that is from when they first released trial clubs to now. If a trial club loses its season, I want to see that number duck down, but I don't know how they do it or how they analyze it. But 2,787 last week, 3,127 this week. That's a 2.2 increase. So I think people just like to know the increase and things like that. I think we'll consider this a dev update. It's an update in, well, actually, we'll do it in Diamond Update. Diamond Update now, /dev update. Before we get into the table, I'll share my screen with you, chaps. Congratulations to Mr. Orange Fly, Bob, for owning MFL's very first 99 rated player. His striker, Beckmann, I think it was an increase from 97 to 98 in his dribbling stat, pushes him to a 99 rated player. And I remember for seasons, maybe like season 2, season 3, when are we going to get our very first 99 rated player? And it's officially here. Which is kind of crazy to see, like 99, it's 99 pace, 99 shooting, 99 dribbling, I think it's 99 physical, something like 62 or 63 defending, then 98 dribbling. It's it's a crazy amount of stats that he's got. Big congrats to Bob, and I wonder if Kovacs from Ronan, if he will ever reach to 99. But yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on us finally getting our first 99 rated player at MFL?
Yeah, it's cool. It was always going to be Beckmann, wasn't it? He just has this like crazy progression that it'll just never stop. Like I would say, he get 99 defending at some point by the looks of him. But yeah, congrats to Bob. He's gonna smash it up in Diamond League again. He's doing very well at the minute. So yeah, it's cool to see the first 99.
Do you know what's kind of funny as well? That he's not even in the top 5 for the goals leaderboard within Diamond, actually, which is quite interesting. He's 4th in the rankings for assists, but he's nowhere near on the leaderboard for goals. And the 5th position, or the 6th position, should I say, in the leaderboard for goals in Diamond is 6 goals. So you could argue he's not having. He might be scoring loads in the Titans Cup, which I don't know. But from a Diamond League perspective, he's not firing on all cylinders. And I know Ronan's immediate message was, can this guy just hurry up and retire, please? Because whenever you're playing against a 99 rated striker, I imagine it's a bit like, I've not played FIFA for years, but if someone has like a really OP, maybe when like icons or legendary players came out at first, like FIFA like 15 or whatever, and you had played against Pele and you were like, right, whenever he gets one-on-one, you know you're done for. That's a little bit of the feeling here now. Maybe you're playing against Beckmann, you're like, that ball falls to him, you're suddenly like, well, it's just a fucking goal, isn't it? He's just going to score against you. So
yeah. But the thing about him is, with those stats, you can kind of be whatever you need him to be. Like, he can be the man who gives you assists with 99 dribbling and 99 passing. So he doesn't need to be your top guy for goal scorers if he's setting everyone else up and moving the team along.
Yeah, exactly. So let's dive into a quick overview on the Diamond League. Fortunately, because it's cup games today, we've not got to worry about, while we talk about Diamond League, it evolves and changes within the next 24 hours, even though actually, if you listen to this any other day apart from Monday, it is outdated. But Meta's top by 1 point on 22 points. 1 point behind is Bob's. So Iron Pigs, Bashoni Milano, last season's winners on 19 points, joint 3rd on goal difference from BFC Barca Magia. BFC Manchester, sorry, DFC Barca Magia, not BFC. BFC Manchester are 5th. Frag's Roma is 6th, which is probably a really good position. Frag is probably very happy with that. Los Galacticos, 7th. Tango, Big Will's side. I know he's got them into the Masters. I know that for a fact. Sao Paulo by sure in 9th. And our bottom 3 is Yoga Bonito London, Deportivo Quito, and Basel MFC. I think that bottom 2 is probably nailed on for relegation already. I'm going to come to each of you. Blades, I'll come to you first. We've got, 12 games left for Diamond, 1 more left for this midway point. Who do you think wins Diamond this season?
I think he'll get it back this year. I won't say Meta. I think Meta Masons will win. They beat me in Masters final, so yeah. If they're going to beat my rubbish plat team, they can win Diamond surely.
Do you think it will go down to the wire like last season, the final match day, or do you think he'll sort of pull away from it a bit and get it sealed before then?
I think he'll probably do it just before, like 1 game before. I'll probably say 21st match day, he'll probably seal it up then, probably.
Yeah. I can't disagree with much there of that. Rory, what about you?
I have to go with Bob. I think he got so unlucky at the end of last season, and he's right up there again. After I think was a bit of a slow start, but now he's right back up to the top. He beat Meta there the other day in a huge game. If Ronan had won that, he'd probably run away with it a little bit. But that keeps everyone in a nice tight group at the top. I think it's going to be another good finish as well. But yeah, I'm hoping Bob will win it this one.
Yeah, I don't think it's surprising to see that our top 3 is last season's top 3, just in a slightly different order. I said earlier, I think Frag being 6th is probably a very good performance of him so far. I've not looked into every match he's played. I know I've always called him before a little bit of 5 at the back fraud. I think he has experimented with a 3 at the back this season. Am I too bold to say maybe that's the reason they're performing better than usual, because they're playing the goated 3 at the back? Although 3-5-2-B brackets is there for a reason to be the best formation, not just out of the 3 backs. It's the best overall. But yeah, I think maybe because he's playing 3 at the back for some games. I'm not checked all of them, obviously. But I say that probably, that league standing is probably fair. I think Barca Magia is always an interesting one. He got his Amsterdam Lions relegated last season. His Plat team got promoted. So I would have thought it's the exact same team as last year that got relegated. So has Dio just figured this engine out now that we're on the same one? And Yoka with the BFC Manchester performing well. So I don't think it's too many massive surprises. It's probably whereabouts I'd think the league would be at this point.
I'd have put Tango a bit further higher up, Big Wilbert's team.
He does this. He likes to just sort of like either get really close to the top mid-season, like 3rd, 4th, and then drop down to mid-table, or it's the opposite. He comes right down to the relegation playoff, sits around there and goes to middle. I've always said he's a bit like Crystal Palace and Fulham. They're just like finishing mid-table every season, basically, and they enjoy that. I mean, he won Titans Cup last season, so even though he finished mid-table, he ended up coming home with, I think he earned the most MFL last season at like 3.5 million.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And he still does exclamation mark raffles and wins duck races. So I know.
It's crazy how much them big whales earn in a season like the Scrubs at the same, I think, as Big Will, but you're earning about 3 million, I think, off the top of my head. So
yeah. I'm not. I'd hate to know how many seasons it would take me to earn 3.5 million. I think even this season, currently, I'm on track for like 55k or something. And bearing in mind that's the bronze, which I think I've loaned out 35%. The stone, which I think I've got about 90% of that, and then the WenDirk one, which obviously I think I have like 12% because I have 3 players and every player is a flat 4%. So I think 55k. It gets me a rare pack, but if I get promoted, I said this on I know we said this last week with 2 weeks ago with young Eric, and also Led mentioned it in his stream with midweek that is about the rewards and getting promoted and things like that. If I was to get promoted to silver, realistically, I want a low legendary at the most. I want to be like competitive and trying to avoid relegation, not be a laughing stock, which you guys would probably think I'd be anyway, regardless if I perform well, not be a laughing stock. But the low rated, I'll stop sharing my screen. The low rated pack for legendaries and rewards is like 250k. It's like if I have an exceptional season in bronze, owning everything and winning cup and league and maybe winning like every single rapid play there would be, or I don't know, anything extra which came up in the season, I could probably hit like 100k. And I'm like, I understand that the exceptionally managed clubs are able to be sustainable, and maybe we shouldn't be expecting to be able to have a player of that caliber coming in every season. Maybe I was to go to silver, I'd earn quite a bit more and do that, but maybe there's that little grazer between sort of iron and silver where I think some of the rewards are maybe representative of the caliber of player which are required to be in those divisions and maintain and be sustainable. So maybe this is us all hoping that strength creep sort of dies down in like 5 years, but here's to hoping.
Yeah, definitely. Now you need to kind of sell those packs. I did it for the first time this off season. I sold packs because I was going up to silver, and with my rewards from bronze, I would have no chance. But like I was able to get on the market, an 89 center forward who's an 88 cam with 94 pace, 96 dribbling, 91 shooting for $120. Exactly. And you can sell your rare pack for about 100. So it's a no-brainer. No matter who I get in that rare pack, he's going to be a max of 84, which with my luck is not the case. Usually a 76. So I did that for the first season, and it's the way to go at the minute, unfortunately.
Yeah, Blades, when it comes to rewards, are you a pack seller or do you open packs, a bit of both? What do you do?
For the first few seasons, I opened everything. The last 2-3 seasons, I've stopped just sell them all. Because a bit like Roy says, with my pack luck, I think I've had one good, decent lad what I sold to. I can't remember what I sold it to now, but it was in our bronze league, and I sold him for Gillywild.
Gullywold, yeah.
Yeah, I sold it, I think, for like $400. I think I got for that player, and then
nice.
Since then, the rest of the packs have been just atrocious. 75 rated 27-year-old centre back. Like, we're gonna do with that, you know what I mean? So yeah, since then I've sold it a bit like Rory. I went out and got a load of retiring players. I think I spent like 150. Got like 5 Legos for that. I got a centre back for $10. I got Abdi. I think I swapped Irish club, and I gave him like I think $30 something like that for him. So I got him for 2 seasons. Plus I've had him for the last 2 seasons as well. So it's like a big loan on him. Yeah, I were upset to miss that one. That I agreed a deal with lad who were buying it off, and then David, saw Monkey come and stole not once but twice. So a blue lad which I was trying to get my hands on, and he come and stole that one all for the price what it up on market for. I was upset. I spent all morning that Lego lad, 89 rated centre mid. Spent all morning trying to get that down a bit because I didn't really want to pay. I think it was $70 for a lad what was retiring in 2 seasons.
You call me tight, yeah?
Well, it's you have to be tight for casino money. I mean, I need all my blackjack's calling me or Rolex calling me.
I remember when David bought that player and you messaged me and was like, Jimbo, I'm fuming. I've spent like all this morning grafting, getting this player price down. David's gone like, yeah, I'll buy it. And I was actually messaging David at the time about some pod stuff. And I was like, oh, by the way, you've really pissed off Blades. I just sent the screenshot and he was like, he couldn't stop laughing. But I think that goes to the point though, right now, you know, with some of the prices in the marketplace, there's so much good value out there at the moment, especially I think in that like 83 to 87, that little period, especially with the older players like 28, 29, even older, even in their first or second year of retirement, or even in their last one, because their prices dropped tremendously. And if you want like a rotation play, you can get some really great value in there. So I think it's a great time to sell packs, even though you may not be the crazy demand for it, but if you can sell them, the value you can get for your dapper dollar off the back of that, I think is really good.
The way I thought of it, I don't know if Rory's same. Like, I bought 3-4 players. I got a goalkeeper, 89. If you're retiring in 3 seasons, that gives me 3 seasons to earn enough MFL, which I wouldn't be loaning a backup keeper probably. That saves me the MFL ref share, and they'll pay for themselves in 2-3 years' time when they do retire. It's paid it back. I'll get them money for that one rare pack. If they weren't in a rare pack, really pricing it $100, got him for 65. It will pay back if I earned the 30 KMFL towards that, whatever it is, in them 3 seasons, which I'm saving. It's kind of smart move in my opinion. Anyway, I think it's a lot of value with all the retiring players, which people don't see. It's like I think a lot of people got a perception to get 27-year-old. That's it, sell them. They're not worth it no more. But it's like my goal. I paid 610 for him at 29. He's still going strong now at 34. There's no sign on him yet. Probably get it next year, but for 610, it was a lot of money, but I've got to be used at it, if you know what I mean.
It's not Dempsey, so it's all right. It's not a Dempsey.
Well, yeah, so Calvin will come back Dempsey in there. We should have to pay $500 for it, but that's not run that psych Calvin out, but
Yeah. No, you're right. Like, I got another just quick example on this. I got a 86 rated centre back last season. He was 31, just turned 32 with 82 pace, 92 defending, 79 physical for $65. And he didn't put up the sign. And now I have this guy for another, this season and 3 more at the minimum for $65. It doesn't make any sense for me right now in silver to open those packs. It makes way more sense to go sell that pack for 100, pick him up for 65, but I'm still sitting there with 35 waiting. The next guy.
There can be a real sweet spot if you can either don't mind the risk of doing it before rollover day, or if you've got someone on your watch list who you'll know if they don't throw it up, I'm in there straight away and buying that, because the value for 4 seasons is so good. Some people like to take that risk and get the player on and negotiate a price, and some people like to sort of just wait till rollover day for the certainty. But especially if there's players in like 30 to 32 who haven't progressed much, but were like minted at age 20. So they're going to get that lower ID. They're going to retire on average at 37. Like I probably could have gone a bit lower for this guy, but I picked up an 85 rated CDM for like $80. And he's only 32, but he's got 63 pace, 85 passing, 89 defense, 81 physical. Like a lot of good stats I want for a CDM in a 352B. Albeit I have got a CDM who's got a 93 pace partnered with him, which is just OP as hell. Thanks, Palmer, for letting me have him on loan. But he's had it listed for like 100. I offered 80. Didn't expect it to get accepted. I was like, oh, it did. I was like, I could have probably gone lower. When it instant accepts, like, I should have gone lower with that. But I'm like, do you know what? He's probably have like 4 or 5 seasons, 4 at worst. I'm like, what, $20 a season? Yeah. I can probably make that back. I was like, I don't mind that. Especially if I get promoted to silver, that makes this purchase now really valuable.
Exactly, yeah. And you got to bring him up with you. That's not a piece you need to look at for next season.
That's the thing.
If you go up to silver, when you go up to silver, that's you got a nice 85 rated. Sitting there,
not
ready
when,
to go.
If.
No, I like Rory's attitude there. It's a when for the WenDirk. It's a when it happens, not an if.
If it happens, if you don't buckle it.
Right. This week's market moves. I want to say a big thank you to Zootert for. I've been crying for the Airtable to be, or Zoomy Zootert. I've been crying for the Airtable to be fixed. I won't lie, I've actually not checked this week if the Airtable has been fixed. But Zootert messaged me when I have this spreadsheet that I just scraped the marketplace API and I could sort out for you. I was like, where's this? Thank you so much. So I think I have been able to find this week's Splash of the Week. So without further ado, Splash of the Week. And a name, Blades, which you brought up earlier. Yeah, that's a reaction, Rory. Blades sort of gave like a little smirk, and Rory was like, come on, I heard it in the flesh, heard it live. A name you mentioned earlier, Blades, Gully World. Here's this week's Splash of the Week. Purchasing an 85 rated left back for $228.42. It must have been an offer if it's like that. A Norwegian right back by the name of Roald Andreasen. Age 23, right back, right mid, left back. Interesting combo. Norwegian, 85 rated, 80 pace, 35 shooting. We don't really care about that. And probably the reason you weren't playing right mid. 81 passing, 78 dribbling, 93 defense, and 79 physical. Bought from Profound Soda, my great friend FC Cincinnati, who I seem to slander off every week on here. Ironically, I know he's been selling some players recently as Profound, because I think he's now rocking his 89 rated players. I know, Rory, you've been a beneficiary of some of his sales, because he was selling like some players at really good value price, and I'll come to you in a sec to comment on that. He was selling some players at good value. I actually looked at this on the Discord, and he bought this player for $180 about 7 weeks ago, and has since progressed by 2 overall, and now selling them for what probably is with fees, probably about a $30 profit. So there is, people can make a profit through progression this season, but no, Cincinnati got relegated into Iron, has a bunch of 88s, 89s, which I think he might still be running. I'm not 100% sure, but he was selling a bunch of players. And Rory, you benefited from him selling some of those legendaries, didn't you?
I did. I picked up some nice ones. But just back to the Splash of the Week there, did you say he was 85 rated when you picked him up?
85. Well, so this when Gullywell picked him up, it was 85.
Yeah.
But when Cincinnati picked him up, he was like an 83 rated, I think.
And now he's an 87. I was just looking at him there. So
really,
he's obviously on the move. Yeah. Ronald Andreasen, is that the right guy?
Yeah, the 23-year-old. Yeah,
87.
87 now, is he?
Too, so.
Wow.
Yeah, so it looks like a good purchase there.
Bagged a banger then. Wow. An 87, 23-year-old.
But like you're saying,
$200. That's a huge bargain.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. But you were saying about FC Cincinnati selling off some players. Yeah, I got a couple really good deals from him. He was just listing stuff on the market, and I was sitting there, and I don't often go on the market unless I have money sitting in the account. And I just sold a couple of packs. I was waiting, and I saw an 84 rated 28-year-old old mint keeper come up. 84 rated for $33. And I snapped that up in a second. 1 second.
28-year-old as well.
Yeah. And then another one came up. I was scrolling down. Another one came up, and it was a right mid, 84 rated, 28 years old. Also, is a newer mint, but can play cam and center mid. So it's an 83 center mid as well for $39. So again, straight in there, no problem. And I also picked up another 82 center back off him for a good price. But it's kind of like exactly what I needed. I needed a few pieces for my bronze team. They're all my players for this season, but it was kind of, I'd say it would have been maybe 11th predicted. So I decided
after he bought his players, he messaged me saying some players at market after he bought them
We would have done the same. To be fair, we bought a bunch of players and there's some good value.
I've literally just upset myself. So I've been looking at this player. Is it left back? You said right back. Splash it weak, lad. I've just seen the player Arsenal and just gone Lego, and I'll cheers for that. When I look at his profile.
With Rory finding all these bargains, this is where the term like usually luck of the Irish comes in, where he's like right place, right time, and he finds these bargains. But you do find often where if you can see a manager who through like the rumor mill might be downsizing or hasn't performed well and puts a few players in the market. And often I'll see a few, I go, oh, they're quite good value, but I'm waiting for his other players to list them. And you go onto his agency and you see like he's clearly going down his agency and he's selling each one by one. Right. If that player, when he gets to 85 rated player, if he pops in for under $70, bang, he's gone. And you're sitting there fucking refreshing the marketplace, hoping he lists all those players. But that's when you get the best, when someone's like clearly keen to sell them and get the money. Which he probably could even got like, I imagine that keeper, if he sold him for like an extra $10, he probably would have still snapped him up there and then. Like, that's 100%, extremely good value. Like, he could have gone a lot higher and still got some dollar out of it.
Yeah, no, but like you're saying there, it's good to know, good to keep an eye on those agencies that are offloading, because I picked up a good few pieces this off season. One from Blades, we did a little deal. I got the striker Squirtle. I could not say that name.
Oh yeah, the Georgian lad. Yeah, Squirtle. Yeah.
Who just went Lego, but every other single player I bought either came from FC Cincinnati, from Majin Buu, or from Murray, who are all leaving the game, and all giving good deals. So that's every single like higher rated piece I picked up came from.
Do you say Murray or Muri, the German lad?
Yeah. No, he's German.
He's German, yeah. He's guy used to buy a lot of progressing players, and
that's why I got my goalkeeper centre backs from. And that's
if Muri's selling any players, usually if you look at their progression charts, they've had an absolute wonder. And they've done. He's also quite prevalent at being a bit of a complainer in the Discord as well. So maybe that's something's ticked him off. The camel's broke his back, so to speak.
He is. He actually, funny thing, he minded my bronze side one season. He was my director of Metaverse Football one year. Yeah.
Oh wow, fair play.
We had a little deal back in season 6 where me and Blades bought that Diamond Club. You know, that's for a different episode. We'll talk about that one. But I loaned him my bronze license, and he just filled it up with players, and I got 25%. So I had a good relationship with him kind of beforehand, and then we worked out a deal.
How did that bronze team do in the end with him managing it?
Well, he won the cup, so very well.
Oh,
for me.
Decent. Yeah, decent.
Yeah, in the end, like I ended up getting a good chunk of MFL, and at the time I didn't have any players for the bronze club, but I didn't want to sell it because one, it's from Dublin, my hometown, and two, I was like I could drop it down the league, but then you're trying to fight up out of iron again and all that, so kind of worked, mutually beneficial deal, and then I got a few players off him there when he was leaving, so it's good to make these nice relationships with people, keep them.
Exactly. I think the community and the negotiation, the relationships bit is a massive piece, especially as you go up the division, knowing other managers that you can go, right, can I rely on you? Well, not rely, but we have a good relationship with loaning players and talking about tactics, etc. Like you two boys have, you can, if one of you goes up and one of you comes down, could you sort of like swap players with each other? One can get more MFL and better place for progression. Having those relationships is quite pivotal, especially go up the divisions. It's really important.
Yeah.
So right, usually it's IRL MFL here, but I've got a few community questions which kind of tie into IRL MFL. Let's get Kev's one first, which he asks if Blades and Rory could pick a movie and characters to reflect the MFL journey and relationship, what and who would they go for? And Kev did give an example as to what he thinks, and he says, I'll suggest Pretty Woman, with Blades with the Richard Gere cash, and Rory bringing those Julia Roberts skills with a little eyes emoji. So that's what Kev suggests. Do you boys think of a movie which could suggest a relationship?
I replied with one there of Austin Powers. Mini Me and Dr. Evil.
Yeah, I think
Other one I'd do is Star Wars. Maybe I'd be Yoda and he could be, Luke Skywalker. Something like that, They're probably the most realistic ones, aren't they, Blades?
I've got a few. So for my point on it, I thought Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah,
that was going to be my guess. To be fair, I was going to throw. I was going to throw in that in the mix. Yeah.
If you got, I might have shown me age a bit. There used to be a Tom Cruise film, Rain Man, where there was Tom Cruise and then there was his autistic brother. That's Rory. Counting cards. That's Rory. I fell in that. If you like, I think it's Muppets, the 12 men what bicker all the time. That's a good one too.
Yeah, some good ones there.
There's some good suggestions. Right, so Risu, great friend of the pod. We'll start with his third one, which is what's your favourite crisps brand and flavour?
Crisps?
Yeah, what's your favourite brand and your flavour?
Yeah. Definitely Tato crisps, an Irish classic. Cheese and onion, can't go wrong.
Big cheese and onion fan, are you? It's a controversial pick these days, I think, from people.
I bet to say Doritos.
Yeah.
Cheese blue ones. Cool. Is it cool? What do we call them?
Oh yeah, what the blue ones? Yeah, like they're called like Cool Classic or something, aren't they? Or like Cool. Yeah. I've got a bit of a fraudulent answer here because it sounds such a fucking weirdo. I've basically my New Year's resolution, part of it of the last 2 years has been just to not eat crisps. I didn't eat them loads, but I just find them like such a useless snack because you feel hungry, you have a bag of crisps, and then 5 minutes later you're still hungry. So like, right, can I just not eat crisps again? Like, give me a reason to not eat them. Right, I'm going to give them up. But what I did used to love, I'm not sure if they're kind of a crisp, but they're the Walker Sensations. They're like mango chutney and lime, like Poppadom. I'm not sure if they're classed as a crisp, but honestly, those I used to love. And you better believe when 1st of January, it's 2026, midnight, I'm going and having some of them. I've got right next to me, I'm having some of them. But that used to always be my go. So I remember growing up, I used to love squares were good. I used to like a little salt and vinegar squares. They used to be proper naughty. But
Space
I'd go for this.
Never growing up. Space Invaders.
Yeah, or Space Invaders. Yeah. There's some good crisps out there. So maybe I'll have to get back into the crisps game 2026. 2 more questions from Risu. So did you ever watch a match live in the stadium of your nation at the World Cup? If not, if and when will you? Blaze, you ever watched England at the World Cup?
Nah, mate. I've got kids. I can't afford it.
Yeah. Especially next World Cup, mate, with the prices of things already and
that's it.
A bigger continent. Rory, go on, Blades.
If you ever get to play it in England again, then yeah, definitely. But if it's out in England, I've got no chance.
We got the Euros coming again to England, haven't we? In a couple. I think we have at some point. I think we have. Yeah. Rory, if you used an Ireland in the World Cup.
If Ireland gets through.
When Ireland gets through to the World Cup, I'll go over to Mexico and see them for sure. Troy Parrott leading us there all the way, baby. But I've seen them in the Rugby World Cup, Ireland, but not football World Cup. No.
Oh, okay. No, it just says didn't specify football, so maybe we'll class that.
I saw Ireland against Tonga, I think, in the Rugby World Cup in France 3 years ago.
That sounds like a matchup where you just whitewashed them. Was that the case?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was just a big piss up, kind of, to be honest, for the most part. But it's nice to go over and experience something like the World Cup. It's cool. Like, it's a good setup. So
yeah.
Even if it's rugby.
Yeah, true. Just for the alcohol, really, isn't it? I've only watched England play once, and it was because my mate's friend couldn't go. It was like a Nations League qualifier at Wembley against Hungary, and we drew 1-0. I was like, brilliant. My first time at Wembley for watching England play is a 1-0 draw with Hungary. I was like, brilliant, great experience. Can't wait to go again. So, I'd love to see them.
Yeah, beating Hungary is not for everyone, Jimbo.
Yeah, right. When you get to the World Cup, you can start saying about that. Yeah. Don't tempt fate. But Reese's last question, I think, is a really good one. I'm interested to hear your answers. He goes, "What is the single best football match you have attended live in the stadium, and why?" He wants to go first on that one.
I've got 2 that I know he said 1, but I've got 2. The first one was in the San Siro. Liverpool against Inter Milan, Champions League quarterfinals. 2-0 Liverpool.
Nice.
Great win. Great game.
Yeah.
Should be really fun. And then my second one is my only ever visit to Anfield. It was, I think, the Carabao Cup 4th or 5th round, or maybe FA Cup 4th, 5th round. Liverpool against Norwich.
I was going to say it's probably against Norwich,
Liverpool.
yeah.
So another huge one.
Was that when Sainz scored that screamer?
Nice Liverpool win. Yeah. And Gravenberch scored in the last minute. That's when I knew he was going to be a baller after that one. I could see it.
Because I remember you scored. Did we equalise, or was it 2-1? Ben Gibson scored the header, and then Boy Sainz came on and scored this absolute rocket to make it like 4-2 or something.
That was a great goal. But I actually saw the whole Norwich team walking around Liverpool City because I went with my dad that morning. And we got there maybe like 9 in the morning. They're all going for a little stroll about. And Borja Sainz, he's a pretty recognisable guy with that little
little goatee. Yeah,
bum fluff.
And he's like probably sleek hair.
But
doesn't he?
So those two would be my favourite. I couldn't pick which one would be better.
Blades, what about you, sir? What's the
I've been to quite a few football games. I used to work a lot of them. Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday.
Sheffield Wednesday?
Yeah, I used to work. I used to be a steward before I started out with security 15 long years ago. I used to have to work in car park when I used to do Wednesday matches because I didn't want to watch that shower shit play, let's be honest. But yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if you're inside the state, I still think it's bad enough you're employed by your arch rival. You wouldn't catch me being employed by Ipswich.
It used to be a company called Global back in the days, like subcontracted to it. But,
okay, yeah.
I did quite a lot of things for them, to be fair. Grand National, F1 at Silverstone.
Oh, sweet.
Did loads of stuff at London 2012 Olympics, Leeds Fest, all that sort of shit. But did all that sort of stuff. But for football, it had to be Sheffield United smashing Wednesday at Bramall Lane. I think that's got my best one. And I can remember when we played Norwich a few times and we smashed Arnold, so even better.
I'm so glad this pod's before Tuesday, by the way. before we play you, because I think you romp us on Tuesday, by the way. I don't think it's going to look good.
I watched this because you're on that Sky's red button, and I watched it. And I couldn't believe we lost to Watford.
I thought the result was really bad. I thought our performance wasn't actually horrendous, but I think we robbed of a few. I think it was a pen in the first half, but it was individual errors that cost us. Like our keeper not catching it, honked us.
Your keeper's shocking.
Yeah.
Is shocking. And
but the thing is that he'll make those mistakes, and then there was that header in the second half which he saves from 2 yards out. Like he'll muck up and concede, then do a worldie, and then also the third goal that Watford scored, our right wing just wasn't tracking the runner, and it goes in. So I thought it was a poor result, but actually wasn't a horrendous performance. But
I think over the last 4 or 5 games, I think if we go off that, I think we'll smash you all up.
Oh yeah, you've scored like 3 in like each of your last 3 games or something.
We've got 4 this weekend. Just gone.
Yeah. That was against Stoke as well.
League. We beat Leicester 3-2. Doing good. Since the Smash Wednesday, it's looked good for us.
Yeah. Well, for my, there's only it was one season actually. League One. I saw us our opening game of the season 2009. We lost 7-1 at home to Colchester in League One, and by word was that I stayed there for the whole night. And and would you believe that was a season which I was like, do you know what, I'm going to get a season ticket now after losing 7-1. But no, my best match I've been to has to be 2015 playoff final 2-0 win against Middlesbrough. I think if you go to Wembley in a playoff final and you win. Not for everyone, Blades. It's an unbelievable experience. It's an unbelievable experience. Like 44,000 Norwich fans. Like I couldn't imagine coming away from that and losing. What made that even better was that we played Ipswich in the semi-final of the playoffs. I think we drew 1-1 away, beat them 3-1 at home, then go to the playoff final, win. Obviously, I know the tides have turned recently, but that like 3-week period for a Norwich fan was is probably like peak in my life, really.
4th time lucky also for me. Lost
4th time. That's a horrendous record. BigMrK did ask which is the best team in the championship, which I will happily say I think the 2 best teams in the division this season are probably Cov and that team down south, Ipswich. I think they're the 2 best teams in the division this season. But they'll probably come top 2, I think.
So we're saying best performers or just best teams?
It just said best team, which I'm,
obviously you stuff in that, didn't it? Obviously, come on. Who else could it be, Mr. K?
Yeah, take your tomfoolery hat off, mate, and you'll see the best.
Now, for me, it's got to be Coventry, and I'll throw a dark horse in Millwall. I think Millwall does really well.
No, I think Millwall are tosh, lad.
No, Millwall. Look at the Oink League, this smashing Millwall. I think Millwall get second this season. Honestly, I think that.
Right. This one's for.
I don't watch much of the championship. I don't watch much championship, but all the best teams in the world seem to be 9th as of right now, like Liverpool. So I'll say Hull City, probably the best team in the championship. 9th place, the place to be.
RootCoors, we're happy with that. And speaking of Mr. Root, he does have a question for you, Rory. He says this with a winky face at the end. He goes, "How much are you loving the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow?" ?
Yeah, there's a little story behind that because I'm running 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, one of my Flint teams, and it was not going well. I was predicted 3rd, and I was losing games, and when I got hammered 3-0 by a team who hadn't got a single point in the league so far, I knew something had to change. So I got onto Root, and he gave me his last season tactic, and since that, I don't think I've lost. And I'm sorry, I lost cup today, but I think I went on a 5 or 6 in a row streak, and now I'm up to 2nd in the league, and things are looking good again. So yeah, loving the 4-1-2-1-2.
I think that's a big advert for the tactics corner of maybe Yorkshire Tier and XP, and say maybe
absolutely. Shout out to lads.
And having that from his tactic from there and adjusting it from the great chaps over on that pod, and then obviously it's overflow to you. This is the equivalent of when you give Blades tactics, and now it's Root giving Rory. This is the full triangle. Now we actually find out that Blade was the one who gave Root his tactics, and then it's all going to come full circle, isn't it?
I'll show that on episode 6. I'm sure that tactic. I'm sure we did that tactic then, and I had it on my plat.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Root has one final question for you, and it's for you, Blades. He goes, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you enjoy winding me up?
10. It's only if I come into chat for to wind him up. It's beautiful. All you do. The banter we have is, I think it's great.
It feels like too long that we've officially met camera to camera, we'll call it. Well, that sounds a bit sus, really, when I say it like that. Say face to face.
Well, me and Rory Duffy had to come meet us and go for a drink and do it in a pub, but he turned us down, mate, because you didn't want to go to Ipswich.
I'm not going to Ipswich. I'm not going to Ipswich for some drinks, and 2, I don't want to have to put you guys through having to go to Ipswich yourselves to go for a drink, because it's an absolute shithole. And even Ipswich will understand it's an absolute shithole. Sorry, Benny and other people from Ipswich and Stowmarket and surrounding. If you live in surrounding, like Woodbridge, that's a nice place, but Ipswich is enough. Right, we've got one final question before we move into the testing and the new engines and bench talk, etc. And it comes from Charles Young, which is DQS smooth from a manager point of view. He goes, question regarding player records, etc. Should matches played that do not reduce a player's stamina, such as Masters Qualifier, Rapids, Goal Rush, etc., should they count towards a player's official stats and player records? He puts in brackets, I think they shouldn't. He knows that sort of stats are something which MFL haven't got round to yet. I think that's something they should consider when maybe that'll be a sort of a conundrum for them. When we get, I'm going to say when, not if, I think we'll get them. And maybe judging by the dev update with the club page having history on it, maybe we get to see that develop further into players and see the history and the player records for them. Do you think that it should only be for leagues and cups, or should it be everything included, or should there be another way of doing it?
League and cups to me, just league and cups. It's like if you're professional football, your stats don't really get took into account when you're playing friendlies and stuff, because your change team, not all 11 players get swapped in a friendly. So for me, I wouldn't count them personally.
And then if you get the rabid play and your guy turns into the zombie 99 rated left back who scores 10 goals in one game, you don't want to see that because it's not like a proper game. But we kind of have the stats already on a player's individual page. I think that this could be done a bit nicer, maybe.
Yeah, because on the career you have and it's the same with clubs and looking at their competitions. You have the leagues and IMFF cups, which is the default. Then you can go to so you can see where they in, the Masters qualifiers, the WenDirk Cups, the Ramble, all those sort of preseason cups. And I think we'd like to basically see that, but also maybe you have the their total appearances, their total goals, assists, maybe like average rating or whatever, or highest rating, or like most goals in the game, whatever. But then you can just toggle between all
leagues. That'd be great.
I would assume that's the way they're going to go, and I agree with you two and Charles that if they don't go down that route and they're all together, that it should just be leagues and cups. There shouldn't be anything else. I mean, on a really basic level, if you look at a player's like Wikipedia page, I'm pretty sure it just shows you like leagues and cups on a table. It's not going to go and tell you like, oh my god, look at that boy science scored 3 goals against AZ Alkmaar. I've said that only because I was listening to a pod with Troy Parrotin earlier, and he plays for AZ Alkmaar. But yeah, I agree with both you guys that it just be leagues and cups. Keep it simple.
Maybe you've had that international stuff again. What you did, obviously, I went apart MFL back then when you had internationals. Maybe stats for that if you did that again. But
I suppose you could argue. Well, the Masters are given are fatigued, aren't they? The full Masters are.
Yeah, the full ones, the full Classic and the Masters will be, yeah. But I would think I'd still probably consider those because it's like a seasonal event, right? Which I know you could argue World Cup's like a yearly event, whatever, but not seasonal. But yeah, I think maybe like internationals could be in there, but at the same time, maybe a player has leagues and cups, international, and then all. So you can see leagues and cups, their international career, and then a stat for all. And maybe that's the way to do it, separate out entirely. That could be something. Or maybe if they do that, we know some international tournaments might be on the way. So we'll see. But that is our last community question, which big thank you to all of you who ask questions. And we ask every week. They don't have to be related to MFL whatsoever, such as Risu saying, what's your favourite crisp brand and flavour? So if you want to send in questions, we usually send out sort of like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a call for questions, statements, rants, raves, hot takes, all that sort of stuff, and we'll read them out on the pod. So we're going to come to the main topic we've called it, which is sort of like new engine testing, bench talk. Because we had the experimental engine drop this week, and it's the earliest we've ever had one. Usually it's sort of after the mid-season break. They've asked for feedback, and I know there are a number of users who don't do any testing, just of the engine in general, whether it be the current or the experimental, and some who do a lot, which is why this week's hashtag is going to be, are you a hashtag engine tester, or are you a hashtag no engine testing? Or no engine tester. Let us know which one you are, because some people just don't do friendlies, don't do testing, just let it hit me. If I need to make changes, I'll make changes. So I know sort of two different angles here, where we've got Rory, who does a lot of testing. Blaze does a little bit, but mainly relies on Rory for testing. So maybe for this bit, we'll pull on your strings a bit more, Rory. But Blaze, the testing you do, feel free to chime in and stand there with your shoulders, and your chest puffed out, and talk about the testing you do.
So that testing, it's probably like 75% is Rory, 80%. Then I fine-tune bits in it.
Yeah.
Like you don't use risky passing. I do. I have risky passing A1. I don't think Roy uses risky passing.
Yeah, I use it a little bit, not as much as you would. Yeah.
But, if I could have risky passing at goalkeeper, I would. I put it all on A1.
So when a new engine comes out, or just like testing in general, or maybe some of the do's and don'ts, like Rory, when a new engine comes out, the experimental engine, or when it's finalized, or you're doing testing, what is like is there something that you always do first? What's the first thing you always do when a new engine's released in testing?
Yeah, I'm pretty meticulous when it comes to testing. I kind of like to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over, if you get me. But I haven't got into this engine yet. I usually, first thing is I'll wait till it's off season. I don't test as much during the season because I don't like to, if I think something's working and it's clicked, I don't want to fiddle with it too much.
Yeah,
I prefer to just keep it running, and if it's running well, let it do its thing, rather than, I know, well, I've been doing a little bit, but I know like Kev and stuff like to change it per opponent and stuff. I like, if I have a good tactic, I like to just let it play itself out and trust it. But usually what I was doing is at the start of every new engine, I'd come, and there's a few teams I'd have kind of like data against, yourself, Jimbo. I don't know how many friendlies I've done against you, but it's a lot.
Quite a few.
Blades' teams, of course. Yeah, I was testing a good bit against Hoodwinks, Edinburgh Castle a few seasons ago. That was before we got put in a league together, though. I don't really like doing it if we're in a league together.
Yeah.
And then
That's
obviously Kev as well. Yeah, Kev as well. Have a good few games against his squads, but he's always changing setup. But I like to go straight to the teams that I know, and you can kind of tell pretty quickly if the tactic's working for the newer edition of an engine. And if it isn't, you can kind of see by stats. Am I losing to the Wyverns? This shouldn't be happening. What needs to change?
Oh, my word, man.
But yeah, I'd say in an off season I'll do definitely over 100. But like I'd lose count on how many tests. So once I get my baseline there, I like to go into the random. So maybe I'll play your team, Jimbo, maybe 30 times, 10 games each, different tactic change after 10. And once I find one I'm happy with, I might do a bit of a random test, start clicking through the random button, run 10 again, and see how the results are looking. If I'm winning 8 out of 10, it's pretty good. I'm happy with that. If I'm winning 4 out of 10, it's not great. I'm not happy. And I'll keep doing that until I find something I'm happy with. And then at the end, when seasons are about to start and leagues come out, I usually run some league sims where I pick a random league. I picked Kev's Silver League this season. I played that Silver League with my 4-2-4 tactic, and I played every single team in that league twice, and I recorded how many points I got, and then I did it again with a new tactic, and I did it again with a new tactic, and I did it again. And I kept kind of coming out at the same number, so I was like, okay, it looks like, I'm pretty consistent. It's more consistency in a tactic that I prefer over, something. It's not going to be a world beater. You're not going to win every game, but if you're pretty sure you can win 8 out of 10 games, you're going to have a good season.
Yeah,
that's the way I'd approach it. For the most part, taking down stats like XG is something I'd definitely look at. Shots on target was a big one for me because my season 9 tactic, which was won me the bronze league, was pretty dominant. I had a huge problem where I was just like maybe had 10 shots and 1 on target, but it kept happening. Consistently kept happening where my shots on target were super low. So that was something I was really paying attention to. XG, and then stuff like goals, and I don't mind if my keeper ends up having more saves than them and stuff like that. That's just how the game works. I trust my keeper. I usually captain my keeper, so that's pretty much my method towards it. Yeah, play as many games as you possibly can.
Yeah, so you're a big advocate of testing friendlies, then, aren't you? So when you said you go against Kev's Hoodwinks before you had the same league thing and against my teams, is that because you know us, you talk to us, or is it because you've identified them through like MFL Coach, for example, or is it a bit of both, or do you just sort of know they've got relatively strong
it's more
teams?
Just because it's no, I know kind of like if I'm going up against you, I'm playing 3-5-2B and probably playing the same way as you did last season because it's just a brand new engine. No one has time to click something and change it like that.
Yeah.
Easy wins, isn't it, Rory? That's what it is.
I always like playing teams better than me as well.
Easy wins.
Say that again, Blades.
Yeah, easy ones.
Nah, to be fair, no. Rory did say to me this year, he was like, "No, your 3-5-2B is actually quite kind of good this season, Jimbo." And I was like, "No, please, boys, don't say this to me because I'm going to start getting a bit too complacent." And then literally Kev, a couple of days later, went, "You know what, Jimbo, your 3-5-2B looking quite good this season." I was like, "Oh, fucking hell." And to be fair, at that point, I was like, "Do you know what? I might cook this season." And so far, I reckon I'm...
You're cooking for one reason only, Jimbo. That striker I had last year, you've got him. That's the reason you that striker. You copied my tactics. My players who got me up, you've gone for them. You took the SUFCBlades route up to winning league.
Yeah. Okay. Nothing to do with Rory, nothing to do with the players, just Rory's tactic. It's all players. It's all players.
So players.
Yeah. Well, no, to be fair, it is kind of a lot about your players because your tactic must be designed to how your players is. And me and Blades, our agencies are very similar in terms of what players we're looking out for because we both play with wingers. We both have these fast, high shooting strikers, so we have very similar ways to set up. We have
both similar players, aren't they?
Yeah, very similar. So like usually something that's going to work for me or something that's going to work for him is going to work for the other person because our player profiles are similar kind of the whole way down, and that's a really important thing when you're also testing. Like, there's no point in trying to get your 50 pace striker to play like a low direct getting behind ball. It's never going to work. But if you have the 90 pace striker, you know, that's exactly when it's going to work, and that's exactly what you need to be doing. So you need to really look at what you have. You know, if you have your super fast players, if you have your slow players, if you have dribbling, if you have passing, just make sure you use them to your advantage.
Yeah, and playing, I guess, ultimately playing towards your own strengths is essentially what you're saying there. I know, like, I a big weakness I identified in my setup was, you know, my one of my CDMs was really slow. Like, and they kind of it had like 46 pace, great other stats, but his pace was low. And he's only paired with like a sort of a 60 pace other CDM. And I often found that just that CDM region, I never really had any stats to back it up, but I could just tell from like a football in mind and go, when I play the setup I do with like quite offensive, those two in front of the back three they're not going to cut it. So I was like, I have to bring in CDMs, even if I sacrifice one or two defense stat or physicals, I have to bring in quicker CDMs, which is why I said I brought in a Swedish bloke from Parma, which when you look at his stats is actually so dumb. So he's 85 rated. He's got 74 passing, 76 dribbling, which for a CDM with 74 passing, I'd want more. But my other CDM has like the 90 plus passing. He's the creative CDM, the guy I want on the ball. But he's got 98 defense and 93 pace and 83 physical. So this bloke just absolutely, I've seen him so many times just running, trigger press, aggressive, taking the ball. And that's exactly what I want in my 3-5-2B. So I can't stress enough what you were saying there about looking at players that you have and trying to fit your mold around them, or identifying players which you might want to bring in, because I think maybe some people just try and shoehorn a setup into a particular group of players. Blades, you mentioned 25% of your tactics is you yourself and tweaking it. When a new engine's released and you're doing testing, apart from waiting for Rory to send you a couple of screenshots, what do you do testing wise? What does your process look like?
I don't do much, I'm honest, I'll be honest.
Sit back and relax and wait for Rory,
pretty much, yeah. Sit down, drinking beers, innit? Just let Roy do it work. Job bits to do once I've got it and I've got the players in. I don't see a point in testing if you ain't got the team you're going to be playing with. So that's the reason why I hold back on testing, because with me being, like I said, my plot, it's tipped to come last this year and it's third. But there were no point in me testing, in my opinion, until I had the players in it. So what bit of test I did, I've done against Summit Bowling. He's got an amazing team. I've got a right mid on loan from him. He's amazing. Creeper Jeremy. I've got a striker on loan from him. Absolutely amazing yet again. And like them players have, it's probably what's got me up to third. If I'm honest, them two players alone, bit goal.
Yeah,
sneaking up well.
I think. Like I say, I think we joke, you know, we banter you that Rory is the man with the strings of this puppet of yourself with your tactics. But I think actually when you deep it a bit, it's the fact that you guys get along really well with each other and are comfortable sharing tactics with each other, which comes back to what we said earlier about building relationships with an MFL can benefit you in so many ways. One of which, for example, is sharing tactics and setups with each other. You know, if someone, I remember one of my second or third season when we had like the big boom of MFL, or the Laird boom as he loves it to be called, season 4.5, whatever. Then people come up to me and was, I run a 3-5-2B and I see you've always run it. Can you give me some help? And I was like, yeah, of course I'm happy to. For the most part, people ask me for a setup, I'll just give it.
But seasons ago, Suter message. I think he was struggling with his Gloucester.
Yeah.
And he asked for tactics. I sent him what I ran with 4-2-4. He used it in a different formation, and it worked for him slightly full up league. Because from Rory, so that's a 75 Rory, and what I tweaked, I sent him what I tweaked, and it worked.
Yeah. Because even that season as well was season 8, I think it was, when I was struggling at the beginning, and I managed to get up. But second half of the season, you were like, Jimbo, like, this is what I've been running, having success with. Obviously, different formation because you were 4-2-4 fraud. But you were 4-2-4 fraud, and and I was able to adapt a little bit. And obviously, you could understand it's different formations, different horses for courses, and potato, all that sort of stuff, right? Slight differences. But I think for the most part,
that formation I've run from, I started a game, I think season 2, I've run that formation all the way through. And it's only this year I swapped it a bit to 4-2-4. I've got a new one, Freedom FC, I've got the Scottish club.
Yeah.
It's going to be hopefully all Scottish next year.
The The 4-2-4 kind of came about because, you know, when I joined, I wasn't running 4-2-4, and I got chatting to Blades, and he kind of started giving me players to buy like the way he does. And nowadays, even if I'm buying someone, we usually run a past each other. What do you think of this guy? Like, price on this guy. So what do you think is good? Should I sell this guy? Stuff like that. And our agencies ended up becoming similar profiles, and then that's how it kind of all merged into one big working 2-4-2 tactic.
My players back, so he'll buy them off me cheap.
Progress them, and then he wants them back.
And then they start progressing like L for Rory. I don't know, give that player back. And then for me to stop again. So I saw him.
Do you guys have sort of like a little bit of a truce and a trust and respect piece going on, where if Rory says to you, Blades, what do you think of this player on the marketplace? I think it's good value. That Blades won't just go and snipe that player from you, Rory. Has that happened before, or do you guys sort of have a little bit of respect for each other like that? No, that's good. That's good to see.
No.
I joke about it and said I would nick him, but I won't. If he picked a player, then
there was the only time something like that similar happened was I have a watch list full of progression players, and I saw one was flying up, and I bought him. And then I get a message from Blade saying, "You just bought my player." That's like, no way, is it?
Yeah.
I offered to give him back then. I was like, if it's yours, you know, we can give it back. And he's like, no, don't worry about it. And then a bit down the line, we ended up doing a deal. We do a lot of deals together for players and stuff. He ended up getting them back anyway. So that's the only time something like that's ever happened.
Yeah. I think, like I said, just goes to show like the relationships you build with MFL can help out massively. I think for the most part, I think I just said it then, like if you're not in direct competition with someone like in the same league or cup, or like a couple of divisions down, like you said, Blaze, with you helping out Zuta, like you weren't in the same league as him, etc. But you were just like, oh, you know, I'll share my setup. It might not work for you, but at least I'm sort of, and then once you have that, you know, it's like, oh, I've got a player on loan. I think a lot of the DMs I have, you know, for loans, I do them in DMs with people that I already know and know really well. And once you get, you know, it's people like Duff or Palmer, Fortune Agency, those people who I've spoken to for a long time. I will admit a lot of them come on the pod, and then, you know, we sort of keep that relationship going from there. I think it just, you know, there's one of the biggest pieces of advice I have for people, you know, we're kind of diverting from the engine testing piece here, but it's about being part of the community, just being a decent person. Nice. Yeah.
It's like me, like I've got NLR, he loaned me a load. Dio he knows it.
Yeah, Dio's great. Yeah.
He's loaned me loads last few seasons, so I had to appreciate him for that. There's been quite a few managers which lucky enough for like me, cause I'll be honest, I can't afford to run plat team. It takes up ratio pretty much. I just do it for fun, playing in the best leagues. I'm not earning much out in it, but I'm just doing it for like playing with better players in like better higher standard leagues, not like your two in bronze and silver. But
and the game's just a lot more fun when you have someone to, you know, share it with. You get me? Like if you're having success and you're sitting there on your own and being like, oh, this is great. But if you've known to, you know, go into the WenDirk chat and be like, oh, look, I just beat Blades, I just won the league, this, you know, you wouldn't be having
like, for me and Rory, I'm like Sir Alex Ferguson. He's my son, Darren Ferguson.
I think it's the other way around, to be fair, mate. I think it's the other way around.
Like I said in chat, when Rory gets a plat club and starts doing and gets to 20 points in first 10 games in plat, and then I'll take that argument. But until then,
the Silver Club might be on the way. Who knows?
No chance.
I would argue with the tactics that Rory's been so kindly, donating to you, giving up to you, that you wouldn't be in plat without those tactics, Blades. So I think, you know, I would argue that Rory has.
It's format, Rory. I'm sure the tactics will still be fine after that. You know? But I will admit it. Knowing him and getting to know him helped me. I won't lie, but that plat this year, that's complete. Like it's complete different formation. I'm not even running 4-2-4. I mean 4-4-2. That's complete different. I don't think I took much of Rory's stuff on that one. It's all complete different, and I'll be honest. Even I'm just super.
He's learning,
which I think I am. To be fair, I don't know what's worked so well, but that said, do you know anything? I think I got 3 good loans off people. The goalkeeper I got on loan from Frage. The right mid from SUFCBlades, and then a creepy German striker. they've all been great. And then the centre mids I got from Dio, like I got a good core of loans in this year for that Plat team. And yes, they've all like just started playing well. I mean, they've all like linked up perfectly, and I can't really fault that. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. You talk. So go on, Rory. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to go back towards the testing.
Yeah, go for it. That's what I was going to.
I had another little bit to say there.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So something else that I try to do is watch goals and watch stuff in the game. You don't have to do it all the time. I know a lot of people say like I've been watching every single one of my test games. Like I don't do that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like the amount I go through. So like I'll pick a few, and I'll just take the stats and I won't watch anything. I'll just see how it ends up and get the results and do that. Then I'll go pick a few and I'll see what is kind of consistently happening on my screen. So for example, the cut across goals. Very early on in season 9 that I testing maybe like 20 games in, I realized like this is it, like this season, this is how you score. And I was talking to Kev about it and Hoodwink, and they're all kind of saying the same, like this is how you score goals. Another thing I was noticed pretty quick was like my players, a lot of like highlights ended because I just passed the ball off the pitch, just like sling it out, no one gets near it, and it's just a throw in for the other team, highlight over. And I was like, right, that's something that keeps happening. That's something I need to stop. And another thing is looking at the match reports and seeing, who is struggling on my team. Like, why I lose in this game? Oh, it's because this guy at left back got dribbled past 12 times by his right wing. And you're thinking, right, we need to stop this from happening. And how do we go about doing that? And then you go back into repeating until you find the little niches that work for your players and how to get the most out of them.
Is that something which over time, since you've been playing, you've refined this process and it's become easier and you just pick things up quicker? Or is it still, still put?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I would say this is someone who was played MFLs since 2023, 2022 effectively, where a lot of things, just the engine, the more time you have watching the engine, you just pick up small things. And unfortunately, that's one of the things which you cannot buy experience in terms of that knowledge experience. You have to just wait 6 weeks, 12 weeks to gain it. So would you say your process has become more refined over time and you've picked up things, since your time playing MFL?
Like I joined about season 4. I kind of found out about the game in season 2, but I only started actually playing it in season 4.
Yeah.
And the difference between my squad's performance in season 4 and now is night and day. I never played like Football Manager, career mode, or any of that stuff. Like it wasn't really. I was a big FIFA Ultimate Team player, but this is a completely new thing to me. So I don't know. I think it almost helped where I'm not used to the Football Manager engine, so I could view this as the MFL engine, and I'd say there's managers coming from that game that think certain things work over there and that don't in this. I don't know for sure because I never played it, but it helped me look at this game as its own thing and its own project, and from there it's just been getting better and better as I go, I think.
Is there a final question on the engine point to both of you? Is there any sort of top tips, or as Calvin calls them, tops and tips, rather than top tips? He calls them tops and tips. Is there any sort of top tips for engine testing, or just that whole process, which you think some of our listeners might find valuable at all?
Yeah, it's definitely not a case of like if you lose 2 games in a row, change something instantly. It's you want to see what happens over the 10. Like I was saying, if you lose the first 2 and win the next 8, there's nothing wrong. Whereas if you lose your first 2 and get a bit impatient, you're like, oh, I changed this really quick. You might have found a perfect tactic and you're after jumping off it too early. You need to give it time to make sure. If it's bad, you can kind of tell. Like when I was losing to the Wyverns, 7 games in a row or something, I was like, this is still bad. But I need to finish out my 10 games and see where we go from there. Then keep consistent. That's what I'd say. It's all about consistency.
No knee-jerk changes. Let things play out for a little bit longer and then make some changes. I think, Blades, have you got a little piece? Just get to know Rory.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. Friend Rory, give him a few little deals, and you've got tactics for life, haven't you? But for me, it's a lot of trial and error. Like I will do a bit of testing, and then I'll just on the sliders just change it a little bit if you think you're a bit too far open or a bit too compact, just change it a little bits. And the way I look at it, it's a bit like if you ever play F1 games where you're trying to find your perfect setup, and it's a bit like that. You just got to just move your sliders a bit, and yeah, that's my preference. I was messing around with sliders until I find something what works for me, and that's it.
Yeah, I think from my point of view, I think Rory, you said it right at the start of your like process and how you look at engine testing, and it's like you're seeing if first of all this new experimental engine, how does your current setup work within there, and obviously understand the experimental engine until it's locked in. There might be some few tweaks, like we know the 1v1 conversion, seeing if what you currently have works. Does it work? Brilliant. Are there some small changes to it? When we had Sid on and talking about his setup, he was like, no, for the most part, it doesn't change a huge amount, or like even from like game to game. He has his setup, and then he might tweak things ever so slightly for a matchup, or even just for a new season. He doesn't make bold, drastic changes. For the most part, the same setup is the same throughout season, with tiny little changes in there. To come back to your bit, Blaze, about trial and error and just finding the F1 setup, which I think is a really great analogy for it. I remember in my first seasons, and like season 1, season 2, even the alpha seasons, sometimes I went to the extremes on each slider, and that was always, I see what works first. If nothing works, I see if last season's setup works. If that doesn't, then I basically put all the sliders to the max extremes and just try combinations, because I find sometimes you get the right extreme, it works out quite well.
That's what I did back in season 2 for Met Rory. I think we started sharing tactics, I think season 5-ish. And the first 3 seasons, that's all I did. I had 4-2-4. I had some good. I think I bought it in iron. Got it into playoffs first season. Lost in playoffs. Yeah, again, second season went up, and then got into bronze. I just stayed up in bronze on the third season for Met Rory. And that's all I did. 3 seasons, no matter what engine changed, just stick with what the base I had and just messed around with sliders a bit until it was
my first 4 seasons from season 1, season 4 was max width, highest block, most compact, and then just changed the other sliders to like central, plank, flank preference, etc. But I think some people would like to know about what sort of some methodology when it comes to testing the engine, whether it be experimental, whether it be any sort of testing for the engine, because it can be quite a daunting and intimidating thing to do. But I think that some of the knowledge you guys have just shared there, hopefully the users take it in and can go about trying to figure out
like it doesn't have to be daunting and stuff. Like sometimes I just I'm sitting there watching TV and I'll just press the restart match button 10 times in a row, and I won't even look at the matches. As I was saying, sometimes I collect data, sometimes I watch them to see, and then afterwards you look and you're like, okay, I won 4 out of them. Let's see if I tweak this little thing and play the same team again 10 times, and just sit there watching the telly, or chatting to my parents and doing whatever, chatting to friends even sometimes. Like, I'm just click one button, you don't even have to look again. Off you go.
I'll admit the same, just constantly hitting rematch, bang, 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 look at the results. Oh crap, lost 5 in a row. I might need to change something. But if I'm like winning 3 out of those 5, I'll go, actually, let me try against a different opponent. Am I getting the same outcomes? Yes. Maybe I've got something good here and I shouldn't be tweaking it as much. But like you said, Blades, trial and error as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, for me, I like to test against the better clubs. Like, I'll go out and pick teams that are like 30, 40 points better than me. So I'll say I've got a 920 gold team, bronze team. I'll go try and find someone who's running like a 950-ish. And I was beating them with Rory's tactics and my sliders and my stuff. Like last year, we were smashing teams like I think my flat team last year starting at 980, and now we're in testing beating teams at 1010. Like, it was crazy how good that to be last year. I mean,
yeah, I do that as well. Because my teams are never like top of the division, like Blades, the silver team, and stuff like that. Like, and yours, Jimbo. My team are usually lower down on the ranking, so I'm always playing tougher opponents. So there's no point in me.
Right, Rory. You just said Jimbo top of leagues.
He's just stating the obvious for this season where I actually am factually top of the league.
Because all the best players got promoted.
In predictions, yeah.
I would have loved to have seen this Wyverns team against the Mustangs last year. That would have been a good matchup, I think. Although I do think that 4-3-3 attack and 4-2-4 are just the formations which I hate playing against. Is 3-5-2-B. I will admit I don't like playing against them. One, because I can't run them because I don't have any decent wingers, but I just hate playing. Naturally 4 at the front, 4 up top against 3 at the back. When you just look at numbers and you go 4 versus 3, probably not going to work out so well. So yeah. Right, I got a little bit of bench talk. I wanted to talk about the Holiday Heroes. I hope to talk about the mid-season pack drop, which is this Wednesday, but MFL haven't released their drop sizes, so we can't speak about the quantities. But obviously, it'd be interesting to see. Maybe by the time you listen to this, if the quantities will be less than the pre-season, because pre-season was the same as last year's mid-season. They've decreased pack drop sizes. If they were to decrease them, it'd probably be the lowest they've ever been for like a year and a half. That sort of thing. So I'm interested to see if that happens. I want to talk about the Holiday Heroes. Obviously, some of you have qualified, some of you haven't, and by that I mean the community, Blaze, but more so looking at you as well. How have you boys found the whole sort of like sentiment and the qualification process in general? Because I say that in the sense that, we all foreshadowed that first qualifier on Monday, whatever it was, the 30th or 1st December at 7:30 p.m. our time. Oh, I can't get in. Let me in. Oh, let me in. And there's like another 209 qualifiers yet to go as yet. Do you guys kind of agree with those sort of people? What are your sentiments and views on how these qualifiers and the format they've done basically for them?
For me, like on the higher ones, like the first T1, T2, it's crazy. Like for a plat owner, like you got up against down clubs, you got no chance. Like I was lucky enough to get to the final, but they were all phenomenal because as soon as I so well played, you know you're going to lose. You know what I mean? There's no way my plat was going to beat Diamond Metas Mercenaries team. They weren't rapping, you know what I mean? So I reckon it is quite hard because you can get through for just going to the final and that, which I think you should personally, in my opinion. But same with silver, it's like it's only one. It's only one when I got through, so it's really hard to get at them because you got all gold teams with silver. I would liked it more if it was a division, like silvers together, bronze together, gold together, plat together. Then I think it'd be a bit more fair that way.
Yeah,
you can still put them into the same cups, like where you've got your diamonds and plat for the cup, but like for qualifications, I think it's really odd if you haven't got a bronze team and you've got an iron team. I think you're going to struggle with iron all day long. Same with bronze, silver and gold and so on. Like people with Flint, that competition, because I've got quite a few in my sport through on that one. See, that's a lot easier because you got 16, I think it's going through that cup. So you only got to get through to like quarters or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, but the more you go up, it's really hard. I know that's because you get more prize money, more MFL, but yeah, in my opinion, it's quite hard if you've got a silver team or a plat team or even an iron team to get through because you're playing against better quality players all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Rory?
I don't think I got 2 teams. I got 2 teams qualified now, which is my bronze team and my stone team. And there are 2 that are at the top of that bracket, that they'd be in. And I was just like thinking over the last few days, I haven't really been playing many of the qualifiers because I think I might just leave my silver teams, my Flint teams, my ice teams, and do the classic. I don't mind doing the classic with them, I think, and then focusing on 2 of my, good chance teams in the Masters, and then also, who knows what'll happen with this. I hope it doesn't come to this, but if I can take a few of my legendaries out and put them in a lower squad,
I mean,
it'd be nice to have the option instead of them having been qualified and playing gold teams where I have no chance. So I think I might just leave them be, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I think I prefer to leave them in their own setup.
Yeah,
well, I have to ask for that.
Well, I'll come to that in a second.
That'll win me the stone one.
I will touch on that in a second because I want to come back to will there be any strategies about people putting in, players into lower tiers to try and benefit in the Masters. I want to get your boys' opinion. Has the it's the first come first serve for the qualifier. We have seen that they expanded and doubled the size of some, and then some didn't feel, so have now decreased it. They had it so you could have 2 clubs per qualifier for some, and now I've decreased that to 1. Do you think the outcry of people saying it's too difficult to get in, do you think that's justified? Do you think that's, it's still early days? We've still got 3, 2.5, whatever weeks of qualified. Do you think people are just getting a little bit ahead of themselves, or do you think that's rightly justified? Because my personal opinion is, I think it's probably, they've got they could do the 10 minutes before you register, and then it's a lucky draw, or it's first come first served. I think, could they have done it a better way? Yes, there are different ways to do it. But, go on.
Like, in my opinion, I think for the plat, diamond, silver, and gold one, I think it should be more teams in it, like 8 teams and 16 when I did it yesterday. But still, this obviously, I know you got lower demand, but I still think it should be a bit more than 8 for the diamond, plat, and a bit more than 16 for the silver. But I think the rest are pretty much where it should be. But I think for the diamond and the plat, just so you can actually get in, because I know it's only 36 teams, but for the diamond plat one, but when only 8 are getting in at a time, only 1 can win. It's like you've got to be on draw deal, because like I said, a lot of teams won't get in that, including myself probably. So a lot of them will have to go to the classic, tournament. But I would like to see a bit more teams in them personally, in my preference. So just so you've got a chance of winning a game would be nice, you know what I mean? If you get up against a plat team, but if you come up against diamonds and you got 6 diamonds in it against 2 plats, you've got no chance.
The argument is there, of course, that later down the line you may only face platinum sides.
Yeah,
that's the argument, right? Because Tango's in, Meta's in. Yeah. I think Bob's Soul Iron Pigs are in. A lot of the bigger teams have, the big platinum and diamond teams have gone out, right? But if you're a little puny little team Blades, they're still yet to go. I think that's the case, right? That's the case. A lot of people saying also, if I qualify, I'm gonna get smashed in those Masters, which kind of, you didn't quite allude to that, Rory, but with your silver teams, obviously there is, when you do get into those tournaments, those who are in the lower tiers, it's a bit more, in the silver, you might be one of the weaker teams in there because only so many teams in the gold and silver one. But if you're in Flint and you qualify, even if you make it through, but you get, say, smashed in one of the rounds 7-0, hopefully, depending on overalls, when you get into the Masters, you won't play against that team because they'll be seeded above you in a different tournament. So there are, like, how the cups work, there are going to be seedings. So I think people may be being their outcries a bit too soon. We're not even a full week into qualifiers yet. I think when Lucas tweeted something, we've still got like 90% of qualifiers yet to go. That was on like Wednesday. So I think maybe people
just want,
too early. They want to get in now, don't they?
Yeah, they want to play with the shiny new toy, the new qualifiers just come out. Like, I want to be the first team in it.
A lot of them want to get in and all now because they can use next transfer window to put some better players in. And then you've got new one. So that's like 6 new players instead of 3. If you do this new one, they're doing it 4 tournament.
Let's talk about that then. Yeah, let's talk about strategy, because that's obviously one of them. If you get in now, you effectively have 6 transfers rather than 3. Right, let me give you guys a yes or no question, a Dirk dilemma, we like to call them. Do we see a legendary in the bottom tier for the Masters? Yes or no?
Yes.
I'd say so.
There might already be one in the qualified already, to be fair. But do we see an ultimate in there?
I'd like to say no, but you don't know. There's some crazy users, crazy players will just probably not, won't they?
But I think agencies like Big Will, where he has this is not shade against Big Will, and like if I was in this same position, it's exactly what I'd do. Where he has 3 golds and like 7 silver teams or something, all full of legendaries.
Yeah, he won't get those 7 silver teams in. No way.
Yeah, so like, why would you not? He's a massive, crazy agency, and he's a big time manager, and there's real money on the line here. Why would you not, use all this you've amassed and spread them out, and instead of just doing it out of the goodness of your heart, almost to not, because like you're allowed to, it's possible, you can.
Hello.
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 So, yeah, I mean, I think if you're in a good position, like you've qualified for the Masters and your team looks strong, you might be able to, let's say myself, for example, I'm top of the league, I've qualified for the knockout stages, and I'm already in the Masters, and I'm doing well. Am I an attractive proposition for people who are bigger agencies to try and loan a player like early doors, not just for second half of season, but also for the Masters as well? Because I think that there's a couple of teams that look quite a bit stronger than me who are in bronze, but I'm in that upper bracket of the two divisions. I'm playing well. I'm hoping that maybe I don't mind giving up, say, like 50% progression. If I do well in the leagues and the cups, and I could say if I could win the league, do well in the cup with a decent run semi-finals, and come like semi-final in the Masters, I think it would be a great season. But I think some people will see that dapper dollar incentive as a way to drop down players. But also that's it's something to not encourage people to do it, because why put a legendary in for a share of $20, 5% $20, or could you go 5% of $100? I think that's obviously the spin-off and the reason. But I think they'll be picky at who they loan players to. And that maybe comes down to the whole relationship and trust factor that people build between each other.
Yeah. Well, like with Big Will and the other guys, with the huge agencies, maybe trust the process and stuff. They could have so many teams down the bottom that they could throw a few legendaries in here and there to win their own 20 instead of loaning them to win 5% of someone else's 100. That's what I
like. Maybe a 17. Like if I wanted to, I could bang home in a spark if I wanted to. And $20, but I'll play one to whatever. But you could if you wanted to.
I think if they really to do that, they'd have to do it like mid-season maybe, because I don't think maybe just transferring 3 at the end would be enough, especially if other managers do it as well. Other managers do it, you're going to get this knockout bracket, which is just Legos in tier 5 or Legos in tier 4, which ultimately someone's going to lose out on, and it's probably going to be down to variance, right? And if you've put those players in Lego players in tier 4 or tier 5, and you don't win it, then is that kicking yourself into? And are players going to be, are they going to risk that? I know Big Wilbert recently, after 2-3 years in the game, has finally broke even now in profit of playing. Would he be more reluctant to go them down there because he knows actually I'm not going to try and regain as much? I know Big Will, but he's going to try and bring as much as they can. And people like Trust they'll have spreadsheets all first probably, and where they can bring them. But it's interesting the strategies that might come in play though.
Well, I think like Big Will being who he is, and having won everything in the game, he's going to want to win all these Masters titles. You know what I mean? It's kind of a pride thing as well. And as I said, no shade to them, like they're absolutely within their right to do it.
Yeah.
That's what the rules say. There's nothing illegal about it in terms of the game. I hope in the future, though, maybe if they do this again, that they would do like rating caps, or maybe no transfer window. But like then again, you're kind of like benefiting those guys who do stack those bottom divisions. Like I'm not saying that's anyone in particular. There's random teams out there that are full of 80 rateds in Flint, and you're kind of benefiting them now, where they have a really good chance to go win some money from that, even at the expense of all the XP that they took. So I hope maybe in the future that they relook at some way to combat that. And that's just my own personal selfish things. I don't have like the most massive agency, and I'd love to win, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I think it's a great setup, this Masters, the Holiday Heroes Masters. Really looking forward to it getting started and everything. But
100%.
Hopefully first to many, and they'll learn as they go.
Yeah, just one final thing as well. If it's not even just about like winning the full thing, about winning as many games as possible, which obviously if you win the full thing, you do, from the point of like you get wheels, you get tickets for the wheel, which you can win rewards at. So it's an extra chance at winning something if you win games. So all those managers just try and have as many clubs that can just win, even if it's not winning the whole thing, just winning as many games as possible. So I'm interested to see what the strategy will be out. I always say that I'm interested by things, and then when they happen, I'm interested what happens next. But I think it will be, obviously, at the end of the day, it's an extra event where MFL are putting up $10,000 at. And I think maybe for some people, that we want extra events. They do an extra event, and it's like, oh no, we don't want this, or we don't want this wave entering. And it's sort of like, it's called the Masters for a reason. You have to be really good to get into it. It's not, and if you don't get into it, you still get into the Classic, where you can earn tickets and you can earn MFL. So end of the day, you can't please everyone. But I think for them putting on $10,000 plus MFL is we're very fortunate for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, let's come to the penultimate question before I ask you guys for your question for our next guest. Ryan last week asked a very MFL related question: what is your coffee order? What's your coffee orders, chaps? Do you drink coffee? What's your coffee orders?
Not really.
I'm not surprised you don't drink coffee, mate.
Maybe like once a week.
Well, excited to buy it. You need that casino money.
Yeah, you can't be having a coffee in the casino. You know, they probably don't do coffee in the casino, right? Because they want you to have a bit of alcohol and get a bit loot. Exactly. You know, can't be counting cards on coffee. You be counting cards on beer. Though they don't mind that. Rory, you said you have it about once a week or so. Do you have a particular order at all, or not?
Yeah,
really a man for.
It'd be like a treat every once in a while if I'm going to meet up with a friend or something. Like I wouldn't go out my way to go get a coffee now, but I might get myself maybe a caramel cappuccino or something. You know, keep it nice and sweet, tasty little, you know, dessert kind of drink.
Last one I ever bought were I think they call it mochas. Like so they got like chocolate in it, like chocolate coffee sort of thing.
Yeah.
Mochas,
little mocha man, a little
little
caramel. Right, so you've got extremely extravagant coffee orders, which Ryan's going to love your answers. Right, you each get a question to our next guest or guest, whoever that may be. You won't know. We'll go with you first, Rory. Do you have a question for our next guest, whoever that may be?
Yeah. So I was thinking about this one, and I hope it makes sense when I say it. But like, what IRL manager would you compare your style of football with? You know, could you be like the Jurgen Klopp ultra pressing kind of manager in MFL? Are you the Jose Mourinho defensive style manager? Which one would you most like yourself to?
Is there which manager copies tactics from like another manager? Is there anyone? Is there like a famous? Is there any
maybe? Or...
Yeah, I was gonna say, are there any big famous managers that do that, or are they all just like clowns in the lower divisions who copy tactics? You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that one. Blades, what about a question from yourself for our next guest?
Well, it was. I don't know. I ain't thought one really. If I'm honest, it was going to be will you buckle it to fair in bronze, but I think everyone's expecting that, aren't they? Really.
No, I'm not expecting it.
But yeah, I haven't really thought one yet. If I'm honest. But yeah,
I'm happy to. Do you want me to ask the next guest? Will I bottle the league?
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. Will Jimbo buckle it?
Okay. Will Jimbo bottle it? Right. Okay. One great question and one semi-great question, depending on who's answering and who's saying it. Why am I asking a question for myself? Will I bottle the league? I can't believe you're going to make me say this. Right? Yeah, you got me in my head. No, diamonds are made under pressure, mate. But I'm definitely not a diamond. Right. So, before we let these gentlemen head off and wrap things up, just a reminder that this week's hashtag, you hashtag engine tester or no engine tester. Engine testing. Pack drop on Wednesday. Make sure we're there an hour before the drop. We'll do the quiz. We'll have the packs, the rewards, the players, that sort of thing. Make sure you're there. It's an opportunity to earn things for free in MFL. Who doesn't like freebies? Yeah. And if you like more freebies, come to the streams and the watch alongs. There's more freebies there. Often. One thing I've forgotten about. I've got a question for you, Rory. When's this rare pack coming, fella?
The rare pack, did you not get it in the post yet?
No, I've not got it in the post, mate. Nothing's coming in the post, fella.
Damn.
You know.
Lost big post.
It must be with the Ipswich jersey on the way.
Oh yeah. Postal error and it's with the Ipswich jersey. Unbelievable. No, we'll still wait for that. One day we'll get that rare pack. Go on,
When's the 2-hour duck race starting?
Huh?
When's the 2-hour duck race?
2-hour duck race.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm trying to think if we bring something for the pack drop, like it ends as the pack drop starts. So I'm thinking that I might do a test run through a watch along first. So we do like a watch along, and then we start a pack. You know, we start a duck race at the start, and then it ends at the end.
It's a quiz one time only. 2-hour duck race for all packs.
for all the rewards, just going to duck race.
All rewards. So first one, so it's just like your quiz, but you have it in a duck race instead.
Just complete. Everyone joins the duck race.
Yeah, because then thickos like me will do shit in quiz.
So you want a way to distribute rewards that's that you have an advantage in.
Like your lot, I mean, coming top like slippery fish. He's always at top, and now it's just name up order.
I've been doing well in the quiz recently.
Yeah, you've been doing well. Bastiste used
third
to
in the
always do
last one,
really
I think.
well. Thankfully, he now works at MFL, so he can't take part. Well, he can't win. And also,
people like
Fraj used to be
me-
banging as well.
Well, it's not in that you don't know answers. It's just sometimes, like for me, when it's on, I'm at work and you get disrupted or you get kicked out. Jimbo likes kicking me out. All the time.
Yeah. It's only to you, Blades.
Sees my name.
You just like pasting an exclamation mark raffle, don't you? That's just the
pretty
you
much, yeah.
Just paste that. Yeah. Right. Right, Rory, a massive thank you for coming on, sir, and sharing us some of that engine testing insight. Hope you've enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great. Great to be here.
Awesome. And Blades with the little one there. Thank you, my biggest hater. And maybe we'll have some more hate watch from for you this season on the watch alongs. Thank you for coming on the pod, my man. Have you enjoyed yourself? What are you trying to get her to say?
Stay up the tractor boys. Tractor boys.
No, get her out. Get out. No, but Blade, seriously, my man, cheers for coming on. Appreciate you as always coming to the studio today. Right, awesome. Cheers, chaps. As always, make sure you do the hashtag engine tester, hashtag no engine testing. See you on the pack drop. Thank you all so very much for watching. We'll catch you this time next week for an episode of the WenDirkCast. Thank you for listening.